walk out of this room, you owe yourself. I didn't get here making excuses. So what my father wasn't in my life? The truth of the matter is he ain't never come into my life. So what, I'm gonna wait for the rest of my life for my man to come? He ain't coming. I live in America. I'm an African-American male. They don't treat us the same. It's something called racism. I ain't gonna cry about it. It's probably gonna be racism till the day I die, but I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm still gonna be a millionaire. I'm still gonna be one of the top motivational speakers in the world. No, I didn't grow up on that side of the town. No, my mama don't have no network. No, I don't know a whole lot of people. No, I'm not at a country club. No, I don't play golf, and I don't plan on playing no time soon. No, I'm not a part of the country club. Nope, I'm not. I don't hang out with them, but I'm still gonna be successful. I'm still gonna get to where they are. Why? Because I owe it to myself. And can't nobody stop me but me. And for those of you, if you're going to legitimately get to 120%, you have to be in pain at 70. And the reason why you have not gone to the next level is because you don't have a problem with 60. You don't. There are those of you in this room, you're losing. You're coming up short. And it doesn't bother you. It doesn't hurt you. And you can't change what doesn't hurt. You have to get to, look, I was homeless. I was eating out of trash cans, guys. But why was I doing it? Because it didn't bother me. It didn't hurt until I got to a point where I saw other kids going to college, other kids being happy and living their life. I'm like, why are you sleeping in abandoned buildings? I said, enough is enough. Enough is enough, E. When I had my son, my father was a high school dropout. My grandfather was. I didn't want that for my son. I said, enough is enough. I've gotten on the plane like, E, why you always got to sit in the back? E, why you always got to take 3 flights to get to one place? E, why you got to stay in that hotel? E, why you got to drive that car? E, why can't you afford? I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to be real with you. You can walk out of here if you want to saying you're going to go from 70 to 100. But if you're not sick and tired of 60, you're going to stay on 60. Let's be real. Come on, I got one more before we go. Let's just be real. How many of you guys are at 60 or 70 and you want to be at 120, but 60 or 70 ain't really, you feel like you ain't gonna die if you stay at 60 or 70, raise your hand, be honest. I ain't gonna die. That's not right. And until you get to the point where you feel like you're going to die, you're never gonna get to 120. You gotta get to the point where it hurts. You gotta get to the point, guys. I told you it took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree, but can I tell you something? I don't say this all the time. I went to every graduation. The year I was supposed to graduate, I went to the graduation. And I went every year up to 12 years. And do you know why I went every year up to 12 years? Because it hurt. And because I wanted it to hurt. And so I would go. 5th year I go. E, you ain't graduated yet? No. When you gonna graduate? Someday. The 6th year, my boys, E, what's up? You still here? Yeah, what you doing here? I'm gonna graduate one day. The 8th year, E, what's up? My little sister graduated. You still here? Yep, I'm still here. What you doing here? I'm gonna graduate. The 10th year, E, my little cousin here now. What you still doing here? I'm gonna graduate. Every year we burn. In that 12th year, I had enough. And I ended up getting my 4-year degree. And it felt so good to finally be in the number. And I wanted to keep getting that feeling. This is what's so sweet about success. That as long as you stay in failure, that like, you know, you get satisfied with that. When you actually come over to success, it's the same thing. Like, you gotta have more and more and more of it. Just like when you're in poverty, you can keep doing it. When you become successful. So I went with the master's degree. Then when I went with the PhD, we came out with an album. I wrote 3 books. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Now I'm at a point where I have this sensational desire for more success. So after I finish with the degree, now I start working out. I'm ready to hit this marathon. Now I got another book coming. Now I'm trying to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Now we're trying to do a reality show. I'm telling you, you would get from the dark side. You get from being a loser, low self-esteem, doubt, and fear. And you can find your way on this side, guys. It's sweeter on this So I'm old school. This is how we used to do it back when my father and them, like that generation, when they would shake your hand. That was the contract back in the day. Some of y'all too young to know that. But if I say I'd see you tomorrow at 8 and we go like this, I would see you at 7:45 the next day. Or something bad had to happen and I didn't make it to you. So contract is something you can get out of. Covenant means when I tell you we're going to do it, is nothing. I'm going to be a man or a woman of my word. I made a covenant to myself, 120. Then I told y'all 2 years ago, I found out my wife had 7 lesions on her brain. I'm going to be real with y'all. I wasn't struggling when I found out. Why? Because I was 120. I wasn't struggling because I knew I was 120. I was 120 in motivation, so I was about to let her have it. We're in the hospital room. Sister girl about to start crying. Like, she's strong, so she ain't going to never cry. It's going to be those that when you have them in here, but they don't never really, my girl's strong, so they right here. And I see her, like, she emotional, like, shoot, I got 7 lesions on my brain. And I look at my girl and say, I can, I will, I must. Like, if you've ever seen that video before, that video didn't come from a book. That video came from me being in the room with my wife and seeing my wife going through it, looking at my wife and saying, we can, we will, and we must get through this. Because when you deal with an illness, it's just not the illness that's going to break you. It's your mental toughness, your mental strength. And I told my wife, we're going to get through this like we've gotten through everything else. I was 120. I didn't become ET when my wife got sick. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You don't know what's ahead of you. And that 70% you giving right now, a trial or a tribulation might come. A storm might be coming, and it's going to break you if you at 60. My wife has a chronic illness, and I looked at that chronic illness and said, you will not destroy us. You will not defeat us. This disease will make us stronger. It will not break us as a family.